Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in the city of Houston, you can reach me directly on IG at Prime Real Estate Ric. As you can see, my co-host sitting here with me is not only a highly successful real estate broker, a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand, and I want to thank him for sitting in with us during this fine event. And I'd like to introduce the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on?
Hey, man, we back face to face, man. What can we say?
Hey, look, for everyone in the audience, I know this is a little bit different backdrop, a little different scenery. We are here live from Wakefield Pro Bar in Houston, Texas. This lovely venue is hosting the YRD Houston Division volleyball tournament and fundraiser. So, right, Mr. Brooks, share with our audience a little bit about YRD, this fundraiser, and who it benefits.
Yeah, you know, the thing is that YRD itself is an amazing organization. It's a part of the Realtors organization, which was one of the very first African-American trade associations created so that us as African-Americans could participate in buying, selling real estate to individuals. And so YRD is an affiliate of that. And so today they're doing an amazing fundraiser here in the Houston area where we're doing a volleyball tournament that's raising money that's going to go into entrepreneurship programs for students that are in high school, as well as those that are going to college, an opportunity to put a little money in their pocket and be able to give them some tutelage when it comes to entrepreneurship, regardless if that's real estate, one day become an attorney, or even a future judge. So that's just an opportunity for us to be out here. And so it started right around the time that we did the podcast. We could not drop the ball on making sure we had a chance to get in front of our amazing guests today. So we just kind of merged the two right now.
Now, look, the cool thing is for those checking us out live on Facebook and YouTube, you can get over to Wakefield Pro Bar right now.
You can.
Look, you can check it out, but they find seats still available.
No doubt about
It's going to be a highly competitive volleyball tournament.
Yeah.
Look, different brokerages, different real estate organizations.
Different mortgage companies.
Different mortgage companies. Yeah. And look, we are playing for a trophy.
That's right.
So there will be hardware handed out at the end of the day. So
give it to the kids and playing for a trophy.
Look, come on, man. Look, so if you're in the city, Wakefield Pro Bar, put it in your Google machine, put it in Waze, man. Come through, holler at us, and take a load off and kick it.
No doubt.
Now, you know, today's guest. Yeah. This is a very important episode. We talk a lot about, especially here in Houston and Harris County, about how important it is to go out and exercise our right to vote.
That's right.
All the general elections.
That's right.
But there's a really important election coming up soon that I think is being under-publicized. Yeah. And today's guest is not only running on that ballot,
that's right,
but she is also here to spotlight and highlight how important this upcoming election is. So, for our audience, Larry, could you share a little bit about your background with this week's guest and how you were able to get her commitment to sit in with us?
Yeah, man. You know, the thing is that she's amazing. And what she's doing, the role that she's looking to go into is ideal for her, right? Because when we first met was many, many years ago, and it was in a fundraising. It was in a fundraising activity. We were at the African American Museum. And, you know, they were doing, it was in December. During December here in Houston, we do a large amount of fundraising events when it comes to collecting toys, you know, collecting funds that we can give to children that were much like myself when I was a kid. I received from organizations. My toys came from organizations that collected them. We didn't have Toys for Tots and things like that.
Right.
And so we met at an event like that, had several friends in common. And, you know, being young entrepreneurs, you're young attorneys, young real estate professionals, you know, you grow through networking. And so being at that networking event, the friendship has just grown. Just, watched her grow a family, watched her just really come into herself, and then that same thing in return. So, man, I'm excited to have her here today as a guest. I'm excited for our crowd to pour into her, to go out, help vote, help her raise funds for what she has going on. So I'm ready, man.
Hey, look, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. This fine lady is not only one of the finest lawyers in the city of Houston, specializing in family law, but she is also on the ballot for Harris County Family Court Judge. I want to thank her so much for sitting in on the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. And I'd like to introduce to our audience, Miss Lillian Henny Alexander.
That introduction was phenomenal. I mean, you guys, when you have a friend introduce you, it's better than any bio. Hi, you guys. How are you? Hello, Houston, Harris County, everyone who's watching. I'm going to assume this has reached an international audience. Hi,
Yes,
you guys.
indeed.
How are you? I'm just so happy to be here.
I want to thank you so much for taking some time out to sit in with us. I know how busy it is, especially in preparation for an election. So, for those in our audience that weren't made aware, could you just enlighten everyone as far as when the upcoming election is scheduled and what are some of the important things that they'll find on the ballot to vote
So
on?
let's talk about it. This is really good because if we know what we know, we can act. When we know, we can get organized. So this is what I want you guys to mark your calendar. March 2024. So what's going to happen is the presidential election is going to be selecting a primary. And all you're going to hear people talk about is the president primary. But what you don't realize is there's going to be a down ballot race that really is affecting Harris County. They sneak it in under these big tickets.
Oh, wow.
2024, I have got to win. Let me tell you why I've got to win. I'm running in a court that is horrible for everybody. And when I say everybody, I'm running against a politician. So if you are a man, if you are a woman, if you are not rich, this court is your worst nightmare, because if you try to walk into this family court right now with your forms and do it yourself, this judge is either going to berate you or turn you away. If you're confused, if you're nervous. And the reason why I'm running is, like Larry said, I'm a people person, okay? I'm a people person. I'm a social person. I am not a politician, but we don't need any more politicians. If you're ending your first marriage and you're embarrassed, you don't want to go before a politician. You need to go before a woman that you know. If you are a dad who's just stressed about how much to pay in child support or trying to collect child support, you need to go in from a woman who's going to say, you know what, I know daycare is expensive. Let's think about how we can make this fit for you. So this race affects us even when we don't expect it. So March, I'll be on the ballot. And really just not only that, I'm spreading a message of people are hurting, y'all.
Yeah, that's right.
People are priced out. People are breaking up. And we need people who are going to just have some compassion.
Yeah, we do.
You know, it's amazing. You mentioned that the gentleman that's currently sitting in the judge's seat
It's a woman. It's an older woman.
Oh, excuse me. They pretty experienced as far as politics is concerned, to the point where they can be defined as a politician. You being a lawyer specializing in family law, what was the initial interest? What sparked that particular decision by you, that when you were studying to be a lawyer, to concentrate on family law? Where does that passion and where does that inspiration come from?
I'm going to give you an honest story. I was practicing criminal law at Quinones and Moore, Carl Moore and Letitia Quinones. And one day they had a hairdresser and she needed a divorce. I did a divorce for a hairdresser 13 years ago for about $700. She took my card and she put it up in her shop. My phone didn't stop ringing since. I was truly an entrepreneur and I began to market myself. And what happened was people who practice criminal law said, hey, I don't do it. I got a girl who does. Hey, I practice criminal law. And so my mentor sat me down and said, look, you really should start your own practice. It was entrepreneurship, to be honest.
Yeah.
You notice if you're ever an entrepreneur, the passion will sometimes choose you.
That's
And
right.
the business chose me, but I met the needs of what clients wanted in a family law attorney.
Yeah.
So it really was a good fit. And I did good work, and they just kept calling. They kept calling. They kept calling. They told their friend. And when she put that card up in her shop, little did I know the barbershop next door took a card.
Yeah.
When the barbershop next door took a card, athletes, real estate agents, friends, uncles, aunties, they just would call, and I would show up and do enforcement, child support, divorce, custody, adoption, step parent adoption, and it never stopped.
You know, one of the cool things about having you on the show this week, and I want to thank you so much for your time, is that there are so many people in our audience that may have seen your name in print, that may have seen maybe a business card or a billboard, who have never had the opportunity to interact with you and learn anything about your background. So I want to thank you for being so transparent from that standpoint. Could you share with our audience a little bit about what goes into leading an election campaign? What type of leadership skills does it take? And for those in our audience that would like to be involved, are you accepting volunteers?
I am.
Are there certain jobs that you have that you're asking for volunteers? So could you just share a little bit of that information with our
So
audience?
let's talk about Harris County a little bit.
Yeah,
Harris
good.
County is unapologetically Black, brown, and progressive.
yeah.
So you have got to show up and talk to people like normal people. If you are a person, I'm actually just signed up for the Juneteenth parade. I want to be out there deep. We're going to be in Acres Home, because what is important about this election isn't showing up in white jackets for me. It's a t-shirt and going to Sunnyside, Acres Home, Third Ward, and saying, hey, what do you want from a family law judge? You know, people remember me more, not because of the suit and pearls, but because I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
And I know you want to complain or be confused about the system, and that's okay, because that's the problem. Politicians only want to go to the top and say, let me just get these top few. No. So what I think is the key to winning is treat everybody like they are the biggest vote. I love our commissioner. I love our mayor, but I'm going to talk to Uncle Joe in Acres Home just as long as I'm going to talk to Mayor Sylvester Turner. That's it, because they're both one vote. That's it.
Yeah.
They're both one vote. And when people know, and the important thing about, let's say you ever want to run for something, meet people and make them remember you by how you treat them.
That's
And
right.
you can run for office.
That's right.
2, how to raise money. I'm raising money like Larry and I talked about, but this is the good thing. I've helped other organizations raise money over the years that it's starting to come back. People have been saying, look, you showed up, here's $100. Just like in any entrepreneur, I need $250 from 400 people and I can win. That, when you think about it like that, it's not so scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Or $100 from 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we need more people to run. That's what democracy is for. And if you are somebody who wants to run for a seat, look into it and practice on a campaign, because we don't have to be in a box. You can be a realtor and run for city council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be a rapper and run for city council. You can run and you can truly represent the people who you are. So that's just what I'm doing.
You know, it's obvious through some of the things you've shared with us that ambition has never been something that you've been lacking. But as a lawyer and someone who's aspiring to be in a leadership position like judge, who has served as an inspiration or a motivator for you? Were there any roadblocks that you were running into? And are there other women of color that you use as a resource from that standpoint?
That's great. I do. Right now, I am tapping back into a lot of moms. I'm a mom and a wife, and the 2 men on the panel, being a wife is a full-time job. I got a husband who's like, are we eating? I have kids who are like, are we eating? And I have been tapping into your Rosalind Brazils. That's a very popular Black woman here, who is somebody who is balancing both. Because what good is it for me to be a family court judge if I don't take care of my own family?
Hey, no doubt about it. Hey, no
So
facts.
right now, my mentorship is coming from moms and wives who are also really trying to elevate and work hard, right? So that's one of them. Also, just that's probably the best one because really we're all trying to be good parents. We're all trying to be good friends. We're all trying to show up. So I'm seeking mentorship in spaces where I see people say, look, I'm going to try to make everything, even if I have to not sleep sometimes. The soft life is for some women, but for me, I'd rather be good to people. I want that to be my legacy.
Yeah.
And so right now, legacy building for me is how I impact people. And you guys are in generational wealth, right? You guys help people build generational wealth. Generational wealth doesn't just come from equity in a home. It comes from if people come to your home and feel safe. Were
Yeah.
you able to give? Were you able to host them? Were you able to show up? Were you able to give them a platform? That's what I'm interested in right now. And so I'm actually getting mentors from everywhere, right? I'm looking at how people are building their legacy and taking pieces of that and implementing it.
Wow, that's what's up, man. That's that's that global that's that relationship currency.
Yeah, that's something we talk about a lot, which is really important.
No doubt about it. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You mentioned earlier a little bit about fundraising and how important that is. I haven't had the luxury or the opportunity to attend one of your fundraising events. So could you just share with our audience about how fun those things are and how often you guys host those type of events?
So a little bit about my background, and then Larry can tell you.
Yeah.
I just
No doubt about it.
when people can come together and they have a good time and they feel hosted, they want to invest in it again.
Yeah.
And so each time I have an event, even if it's small or a kickback, I really try to make sure people meet other good people,
Yeah. Yeah.
leave with a moment that I was able to really embrace them and thank them.
Yeah. Wow.
And 3, there's some music or something that it's memorable. So we're going to do another kickoff. Another event is going to be June the 16th.
Mark your calendars.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars right now, June 16th.
Warwick, Black owned. We're also going to do another one June 13th at Trez Art Bar.
Okay. Yeah.
About that I love. I'm unapologetically Black.
Yeah.
Although I'm running for judge to preside over all groups, I do believe that if I'm elected, this is important. If elected, I'll be the first Black woman, Black person elected to the 507th Harris County District.
Wow. That's a big deal, people.
That is very important. And
Yes.
one thing that's important is I am not afraid to say that you need to elect judges that are going to be in the community with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Our kids, our friends, when you know a judge, it's very helpful to say, you know what, sometimes people come to an event because they want judges to be there, right?
Yeah,
they want a moment to ask. So electing me is helping all of us. So right now, I'm patronizing Black-owned businesses by having my events at these spaces to start. So Trez Art Bar on June 13th and Warwick on June 16th.
Wow, very nice, very great events too. I mean, great locations. I've been to both of them. Love supporting both of those venues, so they're ideal too. And
so I want to have you guys, please come. I want to see you there. And then, we're going to do also volunteers. We're going to be deep in the Juneteenth parade. I want us there. We need to be. There are people who don't know why elections matter, and they are people in Acres Home at those Juneteenth parades. So we need to show our young kids what it looks like to have on campaign shirts. Because like you said, what if a kid says, hey, I want to be a city council, I want to be a judge one day? They'll remember seeing people run for office.
No doubt about it. Yeah, really. I mean, that's a fact, man. Like it's my son is going to be a future judge. He's going to start off as an attorney, and then he's going to be a judge in the future. But that's one of his desires, one of the things that he wants to do. So it's one of those things that I didn't know it was something that was for us when we was kids. I just didn't, we used to Judge Judy and that was it. And, I just didn't know. But now, having an opportunity to build something for my family, see something different. Now I can, my son has a dream or a vision. I know that it's something that's clearly possible for him. So shout out to just being amazing.
That's what it is to say legacy building. It means that you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I have a young kid here and they want to know, how do you become a judge? The ball shouldn't be hidden from us.
That's right.
It should not be hidden from us.
Yeah.
If we say we want to be an astronaut, we should know that we can call an astronaut. Right now, I don't know one astronaut. Still in 2023, I don't know one to say, hey, my daughter wants to be an astronaut. What do we do? So we have work to do.
Yeah.
We have work to do. And this is how we do it. So if you want to volunteer, it's a great way to learn about a campaign. We're going to be doing a Netflix and text bank, because let me tell you how you guys can help me. If you text 10 people right now and say Alexander will be on the ballot in March, that's name ID. So we really want to start to build that text community. It's not just about money. Elections are not all about money, because we use the money for radio ads, we use the money for mail. But if you can text 15 people for me, hey, we've saved money because we've reached them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Lillian, I have to ask you this because I'm sure all your friends and family that check out this interview.
Shout out to LSU. Shout out to Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Oh, that's
Sigma Theta, that was a big mistake, but I won't beat you up. Delta and LSU, that's correct.
yeah.
I got the LSU part right.
Okay, see, that wasn't even where I was going, but
My bad.
no, because
I love it. I'm gonna be choked out. I'm just saying
Lillian
that.
has
They
a
all get it.
very understated passion for interior design and home decor.
That too. Yeah.
So the cool thing is that I want to have her share with our audience a little bit about her home collection line
Yeah.
Okay.
and where the passion for interior design and home decorating comes from, because you seem so busy as a wife, a mom, and a lawyer. Where do you find time to have any other pursuits?
So this is a weird story. I'm gonna be real passionate about this story.
Right.
When in order to get through college, I had to work wait staff. So you know how when you go to fancy galas and you see the staff that a lot of people don't speak to, they're serving platters with champagne. That's what I used to do. Nobody knew my name. Well, I worked for a woman in college named Margot. And Margot used to host, she was an interior designer, and Margot used to host events at rich people's houses.
Yeah.
And I would just go into these people's houses and see pianos and stairwells, and I couldn't believe that they could hire 10 of us to serve and clean up. And I was making about, $9 an hour. But this is what I would do. I liked Miss Margot, and she would send me early to set up.
Right.
Okay.
Miss Margot taught me, a young Black girl, the art of setting up a table, setting the homes. And she never gave me a title, but she would send me into these rich white people's homes to set up the event before she got there.
Wow.
Right.
And she'd take the credit. Now,
Which is okay. That's how learning takes place.
and one time, right before I left, I showed her my law school letter, and she said, "I'm never going to see you again, and that's okay." I've never seen Miss Margot again.
Yeah.
But that's how I learned, because of that job, and it just became something I naturally did.
Wow.
No, and it's interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that background, because it tells me a lot about the type of things you've added to your collection. Because you have some very extra long stemmed wine glasses and flatware that you don't just see at a Home Goods or any place that you may just go into that may be one of those large national chains. So I want to make sure we get everyone all the insight on how they can go about shopping your home collection line, and how they can stay in contact with you on Instagram and all the other social media spaces.
So that business pays homage to everyone who's ever worked service. And I just want to stop and acknowledge, I think sometimes as we elevate, we don't realize how many of us have worked service.
Yeah.
Every generation as Black people, I thank the waiters, I thank this valet, and I thank the people that put the champagne on the table in front of me, because that was me. So Soham Collective is paying homage to not being bougie, but to really, when people come into your home, to have something that they can have a conversation piece. Then
Yeah.
say, I like these. And this, I know the woman. So Soham Collective is the name of that company. We have whiskey glasses, champagne flutes, and they're
Right.
great housewarming gifts. And people have been, the idea that people give them as a gift when they buy their home, it
Yeah.
warms my heart.
Yeah.
That it's a gift from a realtor, a gift for a promotion.
Yeah.
And so you can find me on Instagram. I got three different ones. We got She's So Overdressed,
Yeah.
Lillian for Judge, and So Home Collective. And I hope if I can leave anything with you guys,
Yeah.
any part of your past, you can turn for good.
That's right.
Right.
What I liked about your story, Larry, is you got said that you got toys from organizations. I've never known that about you.
Yeah.
But look at you now. You're going to now sew into organizations. Every part about me, whether it's been my love of clothes, homes, or family,
Yeah.
I'm making sure that I use that passion to elevate it to something that other people can be a part of.
That's what's up.
That's outstanding, man. I want to thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's super cool. As we move forward and we get closer to election time, please keep Larry and myself abreast of everything that's going on, because we want to stay tapped in. We want to keep tap in on the movement and keep helping make sure we push and share and all that good stuff.
And for the election process of how people can come out of support, be able to be a part of those
February 20th, we're going to have 2 weeks of early voting. I need us voting. Voting in that February. People are going to be talking about Biden, DeSantis, and Trump, but there's so many of us under those names.
That's
So,
right.
Yes.
right when we're talking about electing the presidential primary, that's the ticket that we don't know that I'm on. So I'm going to come back, but that February is Black History Month. We're going to be really trying to say, look, elect our first Black judge to the 507th court. Let's do it, people. We need it.
That's right. Let's get it.
Right.
And so not only that, where is it that everyone can keep up with you? They can follow up with you. So if for some particular reason they don't get it, let's see how they can comment, follow up with you and everything. Let's get
Lillian for Judge. Let's
Lillian
use
for
that
Judge.
one on IG. Lillian for Judge.
Yes. I want to thank you so much, man. It's been great. I want to thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your background, your story, but most importantly, educating us about the upcoming election season and how important it is that we get out for early voting in February. So you always have a seat with Larry and myself. So please, anytime you'd like to sit in with us, Queen, you have a seat here with us. Thank you so much.
I'll be back. That way I can just drop in a first reminder to get you guys out. And thank you for all you do. This was great, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on, my friend. I do truly appreciate you. And I will be at the next event. Looking forward
Warwick,
to it.
I'll see you guys at the Warwick.
At the Warwick, it is.
Right.
Thank you. Man, that was a good one.
Hey man, listen, it's crazy because you grow up as a kid, you see judge shows, but you never understand that you could one day have a peer, a friend, someone that you can trust and reach out to that's a judge, man. So that's a big deal.
No, and also it's important that she shared how important it is that we get involved in family law.
Oh yeah, no doubt about
and those
it.
family court judges and how they impact
Yeah.
so many people in our family, around us, friends, and how it affects their real life with family, children, divorces. So
and it needs to be a people person. It doesn't need to be a politician, because I've walked in that court before, and the thing is, it is super intimidating. And you already feel like you're getting ready to walk into a losing battle. So you do need someone that's compassionate, that's going to be patient, and still do what's needed. So
man, look, you know, this was a great episode, man. I urge everyone to like, subscribe, share this episode, man. It helps us in the algorithm, it helps us get the message out. Look, we know where we are right now. We holding it down with the YRD. We finna go get our volleyball on. If you in the city, come hang out with us. We're here, man. Check us out. Any final words for the audience this week, Mr. Brooks?
Nothing at all.
Hey, look, until next week and this time, everybody in the Prime Real Estate Network audience, please, everyone, be blessed and be safe.
Yeah.